Welcome back to another episode of Slashers in Sync. We're going to be taking a break from horror today and we're going to be going in on some pop culture. I want to talk about the state of music. Marva will not be joining me on this episode. Today, I brought with me a couple of my friends. I've known these guys for, I think, about, 7 years now, maybe longer than that. I have my friend with me, BG, otherwise known as the man on a mission. What's going on, brother?
Good to be here. Good to be here. We're supposed to happen a long time ago, but
Hey, it's all good, bro. It was your fault. Anyway, so we got the sexiest man alive, Aaron, otherwise known as you guys want to call him Cosmic if you want. What's going on, dog?
What's going on, brother?
And of course, we got the myth, the legend. I got my boy T with me. How you doing, dog?
Black Super Saiyan, aka T Dub the God, aka Blue Check Maya in the building.
So, like I said earlier, no horror. We're not going to be talking about movies on today's edition, just more pop culture stuff. And I think the biggest culture event that happened recently, and you already know I'm going to bring this up, right? It's the beef, man. So it's died down a little bit, but looking back at it, like what, a little over a week later, I mean, we can all agree that Drake lost. I think that's right. Like that's pretty unanimous.
Unanimous.
he lost on that Saturday.
On a Saturday, yeah.
Bro got fired on his day off.
Makes you think of Friday. Remember his day off, bro? What are you doing stealing boxes for?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
And he said he was going on vacation too on Family Matters, dog. It's like I don't know. I think ultimately, as fun as that was, it was an interesting time. I was saying even before we started talking about wins and losses and shit that I think just the idea of Kendrick versus Drake is crazy. Like I'm saying this right now. I think T actually put this in the group chat a while back. Like 10 years from now, we're really gonna look back at this and say we had Kendrick and Drake go at it. Like that was insane. Like that, I think that weekend is just gonna go down as unforgettable in at least our culture. And I do think hip hop needed it, regardless of what some people think. But actually, since I brought that up, what do y'all think about a lot of these older rappers coming out saying that hip hop is dead over this and all that stuff? Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
I don't. I kind of agree, in the sense that, well, if you look at how this turned out, there was always just a fact of, like, I think I told y'all privately that, like, it kind of already seemed like people already had their minds made up. There wasn't people in there were. It's already at this point you kind of see just where the state of hip hop is and its fan base and all such. It's no longer about culture. It's no longer about the music, the message, any of that. It's just all about who I'm a bigger fan of. I'm going to, and there are a lot of people who actually did go at this for from a music perspective. But as you can see from this aftermath, there are so many people who will just rewrite exactly what happened in front of their own very eyes, just for the sake of protecting their favorite. And it just doesn't come off like there's much of that culture that hip hop cultivated is still there. I don't feel it. Not the way it once was.
I can get that. What about you, Aaron?
I think hip hop honestly is in a better state. When people reference like hip hop, especially like the old heads, when they talk about like their version of hip hop and like where they come from, they kind of act as if like that sound is like disappeared, when no, I don't think that's the case. I think it's just like it's just not referenced as highly. Like hip hop is so versatile that realistically it's like we go crazy when we hear a rapper like in today's era like kind of give us like that old school flow or like feel, whether it's on a diss track, any track just in general. So it's like we can tap into that power in the current state, but we just have so much more variety. It's kind of like I think it's just a little misconstrued, you know? But I think hip hop is just all over the place what we got, dude. We got so many great rappers from back then. Like they gave us so many different directions. It's like what do you expect, you know?
I think I mainly agree with you over what BG said, even though I do see BG's point. But T, what are your thoughts on the idea that hip hop is dead or that this battle shouldn't have happened, or what do you think?
I I think I thought about the question a little differently when you asked it, so I think my answer is going to be the most different. I was shocked about a few things. Um, one thing that I was shocked over is the guys that I saw that you're talking about, like the old hip hop artists that were coming out and talking about it. I was quite shocked how many of them that I know for a fact do not like Drake or his music
Right.
support Drake in this beef. I was very like I was shocked by that, and I still haven't quite figured out why that happened, even though I have a theory. Um, but the number one takeaway that I had was I don't know how you have that takeaway. Okay, this actually goes into a different point, but I gotta make this point to make this point.
Go for it.
I think one of the reasons that like a lot of the fallout that we saw from this beef, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably get into it later, is because I think regardless of won, lost, whatever, I think more people think that Drake underperformed than they want to admit because I'm one of those people. And I think more people agree with me than don't. And I think that's why you see those kind of takes come up because in reality, a guy like Kendrick came on and like that is a future Atlanta trap club banger, right?
Right.
That's the first time we see him jump off the porch. He comes in with Euphoria. He has three different beat switches. One of which he's on his soulful stuff where he's just, bringing it in, and then the other two he's just straight all bars for about 5 minutes straight. The third one we got was 616. He has a Al Green sample that's knocking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in the middle of the beat, it sounds like an entirely different beat when he's doing like that prayer to God. Meet the Grams is a straight horror film beat with cutting bars that get right to it. Like there is no wordplay, there is no metaphors, no simile. We getting straight to it. I'm telling you what I'm doing to you. And then he comes with Not Like Us, and it's a like it's not like okay, like that was a Atlanta sound. Not Like Us is West Coast Cali sound.
Right.
But you got two club bangers in the middle of all of that I just named. How do you get more hip hop than that? How do you get
Right.
more rap than that? I don't get the take. I don't get the take. But I don't think it has much to do with him or the music we got. I think it really comes down to the music we didn't get from the other guy, which is why they have that take.
He definitely represented, I think, hip hop in general, Kendrick. And it is interesting for a lot of these guys who, let's keep it a buck. Like Drake has respect from the legends, but a lot of the respect from the legends that he has are like from Wayne's camp or like from, like South, you know what I mean? Like Houston. Like he got the rub from like Bun B, he got the rub from like Hawk, Kali, all of them. Like that's fine. But a lot of these older guys from like different areas of the country and who represent different coasts, like Kendrick like brought everything. Like he kind of brought everything to the table. So I think it is interesting that they would have that take because I think it just made hip hop a lot more relevant. You had people dancing to, like you said, an Atlanta track. You had people who wouldn't normally dance to, like a West Coast track. You had people who want that like old school like narration hip hop style. Like he brought that in. And then you even kind of had like that boogeyman stuff, like you said, the Friday the 13th kind of like sample esque. I don't think it really was a Friday the 13th sample, but you had like, Meet the Grams. Like he kind of brought everything in there. So I do agree with your point. And and I think this is what BG and I were saying when he was out here visiting me and we were talking about the beef in person, is that I just think Drake, I don't know if T or Aaron agree, but I think he kind of underestimated Kendrick. And I don't mean underestimated his skill level. I'm pretty sure Drake knows that Kendrick's the shit. I just mean, I think he just underestimated the lengths that he's willing to go. And I don't think he was prepared for this. I think I put it in our group chat that Family Matters is a track on the level that could body people like Meek Mill, who can body Rakim, Rocky, it could body, um, Rick Ross, but uh, it wasn't enough for someone like Kendrick, who just literally, I think, just had Drake's number in this battle. It was it. But what do y'all think about that point, Aaron and T, that Drake may have just underestimated the links that Dot was willing to go to win this, or to just prove a fucking point?
As you were saying that, I was really thinking about it. It's almost like I want to say yes, he did underestimate him, and it's almost like, in my opinion, on kind of like a different angle, Drake had to understand that his audience is different in this case. Drake's always going number one. He's always got that track where no matter what it's that, a verse or anything, usually people are bopping to it. But this was a diss. This was a beef. So even though the public did have an impact on this, what this really was is Drake's like, no, no, no. Kendrick's like, no, Drake, you're not rapping to the world. You're rapping to me. And my standards are higher than everyone else's. So it's like Drake keeps giving him these bars and stuff, thinking it's all that. But Kendrick continues to just up it every single level. And I think he kind of also underestimated him because what was it? It was Family Matters or it was Push Ups, one of the two, where Drake was referencing how Kendrick's like never really dropping music like consistently and like doing it through years. And I think that played a role in it. It's like, yeah, he may be dropping every few years, but at the same time, you haven't seen all his talents. So like he really can go in so many different directions, and we got just like I want to say even like a minuscule of that just even from this weekend. So yes, he definitely underestimated him. Like he's going against a real MC, and I don't think Drake's really done that.
No, I feel you on that. What about you, T? Do you agree with that angle, or do you feel like underestimation may not be the right word?
Underestimation is not the right word. I think how do I want to put this?
Yeah.
Actually, MJ, you know what? I think you summed up my thoughts perfectly. We got this battle 10 years too late because I just think that okay, hot take, right? I know, but I think Drake stopped giving a fuck about rap when Scorpion dropped. Like rap, like hippie hop rap, like that, like rap. I don't think he's tapped into that anymore. I think you can hear it in his music, and I think it came through in this beef. I think I won't ever say his ability like he can't tap into it, but I think maybe he need. I guess you could say underestimated because I think he probably needed 2-3 months in the dark, like to get ready for this because
I feel you.
he didn't like even though I like Family Matters, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the Drake that I expect to come to a beef did not show up until the Heart Part 6. And even then, we know the problems with that track. But like his rapping, like the way that he was rapping on that one, I think he came into this thinking that the only way that I'm gonna get bodied is if people try to pull stuff out on me to get a crowd reaction. So I'm gonna do the same thing. And it's like, I think if you would have just barred Kendrick up to death, we kind of would have sided with you, bro. Like I had the feeling that the world wanted to hand him a W, and he gave them every reason to hand them a L. And I think it's because he didn't tap into like Drizzy Drake. Like I went on that whole little. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. Well, one of those days, like I went on this whole little like rant where I just posted my favorite like Drake disses like whether they were like diss songs or he was just dissing somebody in the song. And it was like 30 seconds to a minute of the bars that he would spit on some of those tracks. And I
Yeah.
just didn't get any of that from him. Like until the very end. And I think he needed 60 days in the dark because he was fresh off tour. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to Meek Mill Kendrick, and that wasn't gonna. I don't know if that was because of underestimation or if it was just a miscalculation. Like the strategy was just wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I
I
don't know
think
which one it was.
I think there's a lot of reasons for that though, because it's like you could also look at it as the fact that I think he's always had this mindset that he could put out anything at the level that he believes he's at. He could put out anything and people would love it. So I think I think it is a level of underestimation because as you said, he kind of came at it like this was Meek. He came at him like he was Meek. That's why he dropped one track and like less than 2 days later, he's over here begging him to drop, trying to speed him up and kept trolling him nonstop. He didn't treat this like it was like he was going against going against whatchamacallit, like he was going against Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. And
he treated like this like he was going against Meek Mill. Yeah, like he didn't come in here with this level of preparation, hunger, like even anger. Because just look at Kendrick. Kendrick, you can tell just off what he wrote and how he's delivering it. He hates that nigga.
And I don't want us to like discredit Meek, like regardless of all the stuff that's happened with Meek, you know, the past year with the Diddy stuff, which we could probably talk about that as a joke later on. But like all of that stuff that came out about him, like and like his, you know, his last couple of years of music, I don't want to discredit him. Meek's a good rapper. It's just when we say he approached this, like if he was going up against a Meek Mill or a Rick Ross, like Meek's looked at on social media as a fucking clown. You know, the stuff he tweets, the stuff he says, even before all the stuff that came out. Rick Ross is also a fucking troller too. So it's like all these dudes be trolling. And I think he just went into this expecting that. He's baiting Dot, and Dot's not like that. Like Dot, like literally the boogeyman on a mission. And to go back to what T was saying, like I was just looking up the lyrics to Stay Scheming, which probably isn't even a top 3 Drake diss, but when you look at the lyrics here, like what T was talking about, like the very first thing he says on Stay Scheming is, "It bothers me when the gods get to acting like broads." Yeah, I guess every team doesn't come complete with like ours. Like it's just it's different energy. And I'm actually gonna make a little joke that I don't know if BG's gonna get, but I know T and Aaron are gonna get. We saw Certified Lover Boy Drake in this beef. We didn't see Young Angel. We didn't see Drizzy Drake Rogers. You know, we didn't see that. We saw Certified Lover Boy Drake. We didn't see the Young Angel, Young Lion Drake. And I think that's probably what hurt him, because that's probably the only Drake that can actually stand a chance to get stopped, you know. But it is what it is, bro. Like it is what it is. He's already out celebrating in Turks, you know, celebrating the loss, I guess.
I have a question though. I wanted to pose a question to BG and the panel, like, because this was my thing about even with me saying he treated it like he was going against Meek Mill. The only reason I hate that is because the same year, because Summer 16 was also a response to Meek, right? The same time that he dropped that, the nigga dropped 4 p.m. in Calabasas. So it's just like, I just have such a hard time giving him that, because it's like, bro, I've seen you switch depending on who the opponent is. I just don't even understand why you would even like, but it may be a situation where Kendrick was focused on Drake, and I don't think he got the message that he should have been focused on Kendrick. Because even in Family Matters, he's addressing everybody. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? We don't care about you talking. Even though it's a nice bar when you said Abel pulled out the serenade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that was a nice bar, but it's like, we don't really want to hear that not after Big Bro drop. Euphoria, like he's really trying to kill you, and you trying to go at everybody. Like that's why I say I don't know if it was underprepared or if it was just wrong approach. Like it was just a mistake strategy.
Well, that's what I talked about before when it came to some of those bars. Like some of those bars, even in that song, I like the song, but I just re-listened to it, and they bring up that part where he's like he's trying to flip the Kendrick's big 3 bar from like that, and he references that leak of his penis.
Yeah.
Bro,
I can't believe he said that, bro. That threw my whole game off when I was listening to
It
that,
threw
man.
me off, bro.
I told some. I think it was. I think we talked to one of our other friends about this, and he was like, when I told him that, he was like, what? Like, why is that? What was wrong with the bar? I was like, are you kidding me, bro? You have to look at the context.
It's the way he's rapping too, like the tone of his voice, like that flow he's got. It's like haunting, bro. Like there's only Big D and there's video proof. Like fuck that motherfucker for saying that, bro.
Bro, it was ridiculous. I'm like, you're over here supposed to be trying to like disrespect this man. Instead, you over here talking about your dick.
I know T and I have a difference of opinion on push-ups, but I think if he had dropped Family Matters instead of push-ups, like if that was the first diss track, I think that would have like started him off pretty good, honestly. I think that probably would have, because during push-ups he was still trying to address everyone as well. I don't think he should have had 2 tracks addressing everybody. If he had did Family Matters instead of push-ups when that dropped, and he did that track instead, he would have had the first verse addressed to Kendrick, the middle portion addressed to everyone else, the last verse directed to Kendrick again. I think that probably would have worked a lot better than
But
The Drake fans keep telling me that push-ups and Family Matters are the same song, because they keep telling me that the beginning of the Family Matters beat is like the end of the push-ups thing. Like
Right.
they keep telling me that they think he just split the song up, like he recorded it all at one time and just split it up. That's the theory that they keep telling me.
So I don't think that he did that, but I do think he probably planned for the second one. That's the thing. Like it does, because I actually thought about that. I think he actually did plan for the second one, because that's why the push-ups ends the way it does. However, I do think that he didn't. I think as I said about underestimation, that actually even furthers that point, because he dropped that, and I think he only had making this second one in mind, because he dropped that, and then you can kind of tell he felt that after he drops this, there's no need for anything else. It'll be over. Like he really considered this to be a nuke. And
yeah.
And you can't make a nuke on Kendrick Lamar with that after he had already dropped Euphoria, and he dropped him 616, which I personally, I'm not the biggest fan of 616. I don't. It's as like a song, but it's definitely a better diss. It's still a good diss, and you can't use this as a nuke when he dropped 2 on your head.
Yeah, that's true.
Get back in the booth.
Like I even had to
I
go
just have a
double.
hard.
Oh, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just saying. I just have a hard time feeling like the guy who said all these number ones and we still not the ones. Please never label niggas who laid down for a living my competition. Is beyond offense. So I'm in it for the glory, not the honor mention. I don't
Yeah.
think that nigga put up.
The closest we got was the Heart Part 6, like you said, because I actually like that bar and the Heart Part 6. I think he's talking about like I'm a warrior with like the declarations or decorations, something like that.
Yep, that bar was hard.
Like that's like something Drake from back in the day would say, and I think that because it's true, like bro, like he is battle tested. Like I mean, regardless of who you think won throughout his beefs, you know what I mean? Like he has it on his resume. Like bring that up, bro. Like talk your shit. You know what I mean? Like all these, because you could even make the argument that Eminem battled a lot of pop stars throughout his career. You know, like and then like women and shit. So it's like Drake's really battle tested. He's really got like he went up against rappers. You know, so it's like he should have like brought that up.
This was common.
Yeah.
You want to know something thinking about that, though, too?
What?
Drake came up going against all of the big rappers, but at the same time, all of the big rappers he gone against, like, they're not really, I guess, a part of this generation like before. Like he was like interacting with like Jay-Z, like he was on his first album, like he was with Wayne growing up like into his career, and it's like now those artists, they're not putting out really solo projects like before. It's in a whole different wave now almost. So it's like he went from being the rookie of the year to like the top of his class naturally.
No, I
Cosmic,
feel
you
you.
made a great point. You made a great point, but I think that goes to MJ's point too, though, because okay, Joe Budden made a great point, right? When Damn came out, right? Damn sold 600,000 units first week, right? It's like we get it. Like I think you just made a great point. Drake came up in a totally different era, so he probably sees himself kind of like the LeBron type
He's big
thing,
bro. He's
where
big
it's
bro.
just like, yeah, like I'm the big dog out here. But I will say, I guess that goes into MJ's point where it's like, yeah, but the one other guy, like there's literally only one guy that can box up here with you, and he's going at you. Why would you come like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I even made a joke, bro. Like when Aaron and BG were here, I made a joke to them like, if Family Matter, not we didn't know it was called Family Matters yet, but if the new track that Drake drops doesn't start off with him referencing last name ever, first name greatest, like I ain't told y'all boys I ain't none to play with. Like if he spun that around, I would have been happy. Just because it's like you need to talk your shit, bro. Like what are you doing over here talking about this shit? Like you're literally at the top, and I don't want to hear like, "Oh, I'm number one chart shit." No, talk your shit, bro. Put your pen to it. You know what I mean? Like and we didn't really get that from him. So I think I've come to agree with your point overall that even though I do like Family Matters, and even though I can bump push-ups, it's not the Drake that I expected. So I fully agree with your point on that now. You know?
I'm not gonna lie, from the level of preparedness and expect and like how do I phrase this? And the way he just the energy he came with, he kind of came. Y'all said CLB, he came off more like for all the dogs, Drake.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I can agree
And at
with
least
that.
CLB Drake would have put a little bit more thought into it. What he was saying, I feel.
But actually, you guys brought up a good point about comparing him to LeBron. So BG and I were talking earlier. I found out recently that LeBron may retire like in a year or two. Maybe a little longer, who knows? But I was actually wondering when BG and I were talking about that, we're wondering like who's the next one, right? Who's the next guy that their name is just gonna be a household name everywhere, no matter who they are in the world, is gonna know that name. I want to switch that and talk about it when it comes to hip hop and rap. Yeah, you can argue Drake's maybe more of a pop star nowadays, but regardless of that point, he is a rapper. That's where he marked his penmanship. That's how he got big. In a few years, we don't know where Drake's gonna be at. Like Drake's already been in the game for a long time now. He's also not at the point to where I'm not gonna say he doesn't have number ones. He still dominates the charts, but he's not like during the views era where he can drop an album and it's gonna hit like 1 million in the first week, right? Like he's not at that level
Mhm.
anymore. There's a lot of other people who are gearing up to his level in terms of weekly album sales. So I wanted to ask y'all, do you think like we're getting ready to like usher in that new era? Do you think like in maybe 3 to 5 years there's gonna be someone else that's gonna be taking that spot from Drake and some of the other top dogs? Like, do you think we're gearing up for that, or do you feel like Drake's gonna be around a lot longer than a few years, at least in terms of being on the top of the charts? But go ahead, whoever wants to go.
I think he's gonna be at the top for the same reasons that Kendrick Lamar is gonna be at the top. Kendrick didn't drop for years,
Right.
and with a one weekend, he's managed to dominate and break every single record. The same conversation we've been having over the last few years, which is the whole feud that started this whole beef, was the big three. People have
Right.
argued those around it, but it's always consecutively been J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. So the issue is I don't think we're going to get into that new era until they say it's going to be that new era. Like when
Right.
Like there are some people who can step down, and there's some people who get put down, right? Like Wayne essentially got put down because he could not release for years. And then you have other guys like Eminem who were in that case, but you can see it throughout the years their popularity kind of dies down, you know?
Right.
With three guys here, it's such a different conversation. It's like Drake realistically could go another year or two, and if he drops something, people are like, "Oh my god!" Like Drake hasn't missed a beat. It could sound completely the same. And T, tell me if I'm wrong here. Drake could drop a song that sounds like something completely like he's dropped before, and if he gave it a year or two, fans would say that's the old Drake.
Duh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Drake I missed. This is the da da da. Fans are just waiting to find a new reason to love the artist they already have. So
That happened with Her Loss.
I think
Remember, everyone was upset at that album, and now people are already going back saying, "Yeah, man, that's the Drake I missed, man. The way he sung on Hours in Silence, like the way that's that old Drake, bro."
hmm honestly, dude. And look at even what's going on right now, dude. People are so late. The whole world was hating on Mr. Morale, and now all of a sudden everyone's saying it's a beautiful masterpiece. Like,
Well, because I mean, I think there's a reason for that though. I think that's because when people were waiting for him to come back after Damn, and he came back with that, it was something that they just weren't used to, something they weren't expected.
Bingo.
And then after this, and then they hadn't listened to it, they hadn't gone back to it. But after this, and they had this like urge to hear more Kendrick, they were like, well, this is all we got. And they went back, and now that they're understanding of the type of person he is and and then they kind of remember just how much they liked his music, how much they missed his music. They go back to that and like, dang, this is actually way better than I remember it.
I need that new Kendrick album, bro. I hope that comes out soon. They said May, right? I think.
Something like that. That was the leak, yeah.
I'm gonna back up BG's point real quick.
Go for it.
That's literally exactly what happened to me. When I heard Mr. Morale, I thought it was the worst Kendrick album. I was like, I don't like this shit. And then like last year, I went back and re-listened to it, and I was like, I think this may be the best Kendrick album. I was like, yo, dog. My opinion turned complete. But it was because of what BG said. It had been 5 years. And when he came with that, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, nah, I was thrown off. I didn't like it at first. So I'm living proof that what BG said, I think that's facts.
Hopefully, I can get to y'all's levels soon, bro. I've gone back to listen to it, and I still don't really fuck with it too much. I do like tracks though, like "Count Me Out" and "Savior." I do like those tracks. I do like the production
Yeah.
on that shit. So, but I
To
really don't even
answer your
think Kendrick has a
question,
bad
though,
album though. To be honest with you, just because like I don't mess with like Morale that much, just because I don't have like every song saved from "To Pimp a Butterfly," like I don't think he has a bad album. I think all of his albums are like if I were to rate him like 1 out of 10, I think most of his albums are at least like 6, no 7, maybe 7 is lowest. Like 6.57 is lowest to me, out of 10. So all of his albums are still better than average. It's still really good to me. So,
I agree with you.
you know.
But to answer your question though, MJ, I have a hot take about that subject because I was having it a couple of months ago with some of my homeboys. I don't until somebody new comes on the scene, there's nobody that has entered, because like what I consider newer age rap is, I consider that transition to be about the 2016 point.
Right.
Like when Lil Yachty and them came in, and from then on, that's what I consider new age, because it hasn't even been 10 years for those guys yet, right? Like for those guys, I don't think there's a single artist among any of them that could ever be a Drake, a Kendrick, a Cole. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't seen any of those guys be Big Sean yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I it's a lot of Wale's in this group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
A lot of Ace Hoods, bro.
honestly, I don't even want to say that, because I think Wale is more versatile than a lot of these guys. I think music and rap in particular has become so commercialized I don't know how many guys are in here like perfecting the craft as much as they are dropping music how like Future was in like the mid 2010s without the understanding that like by the time Future started dropping music like that, he had already been in the game for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think they're musically gifted enough to be superstars. And I think if any of them were, the media would have made them that by now. Their closest project in the last 10 years that I've seen, they tried with Lil Yachty, it didn't work. I saw them try with Lil Baby, it didn't work. Um, that's about it. Like I think we've seen it. Like it's just like the NBA, bro. Like until this year, where like the young kids are taking it by force, the NBA was reluctant to give up LeBron, Steph, KD. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even this year, the most hype releases have really been like, we've been waiting on Kendrick. We was a lot of excitement about J. Cole before what happened with him.
Yeah.
Like, we've been waiting on Drake. We've been waiting on Future. Like, we've been waiting on the guys that have been here, like the old niggas. Like, I don't know.
I kind of have
I think in terms of stardom, I just don't know if they have it.
but before I throw it to BG, I'm actually gonna say something. I do have a take. I don't want to consider it a hot take because this person is sadly no longer with us, so I don't really want to like address it that way. But I do think at one point there was somebody. I don't want to say who could rival the big three, but he could have got pretty close just because of how skilled he was. Uh, Juice World. I think
Yep, Juice.
I
That's the
like
one
Juice.
person.
I was thinking about you.
He could
Yeah.
freestyle. He could sing. He
Yep.
go check out his radio freestyles. He could freestyle. Him and Nick Mira, his producer, were like taking a lot of what we knew from like future style tracks, X style tracks, Metro style beats, and like switching up the genre there. You go to any beat website, there's literally Nick Mira Juice World style beats. Like he was creating his little mini own subgenre. Like
Yep.
he could have got there, but sadly he passed too young. He was also young too. A lot of people forget that's what it takes to really get big. Is Drake was young as fuck when he started. You know, like
Yep.
it's you have to really like take that into consideration for longevity in their career. Same with Wayne. Wayne was like what 14, 15 when he was with Project Pat, like in his late teens. So I think Juice could have reached
I
that
think
level,
Young
but
Boy would be there if he wasn't in so much trouble either.
oh, I feel that. Yeah.
Nah, if we're gonna be real, you're 100% right. Because how is never had a number 1 single on a Billboard, but is the number 1 artist on YouTube, which is probably the largest platform on the
Yep.
internet.
Yep.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
Yeah, bro.
It's sad that like the ones who probably could have like paved the way for that new generation either just too much trouble or just passed too young, you know. So, but no, BG, what do you think about this? Do you see anyone like? Do you even have like maybe a person in mind who's like on that level to you that isn't, older than Drake and who are still making music, or like do you feel like we haven't got that person yet that like we're still waiting for that one person to come along to like reach that level of the big three?
Well, it's funny because before you said it, yeah, like the only answer I would think would even be close to that level would have been like, yeah, somebody like Juice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it's like, because honestly, outside of people like him, I just can't really see who would fit that description because a lot of these younger and newer artists, either they all are kind of jack a style from the same person, so they have like a similar sound,
Mm-hmm.
and
right.
nobody really stands out. Or then the other side of things is they have no talent whatsoever.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, there are certain artists out there who are pretty big actually, and they if you really had never heard their name and you just heard their music alone, you would think, how the heck did this get on the radio?
yeah, that happens a lot
That's
nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of this, I would actually argue. That's why I believe that. That's why when we talked about the hip hop is dead point, I would at least say on the concept of rap as a genre, I believe that is a dying genre. It's not good. A lot of the stars upcoming, we're not in a good place. I use that basketball analogy. When LeBron, Steph, and KD go, we are steadily having more and more big super talented players come up. So I could calmly say that I think basketball's in a great place. But with music, you don't have the Anthony Edwards or the John Morants out there. You don't have any of those. All you have are Jordan Poole.
You want to
It
know
was the
something though?
NBA.
If you really think about it, though, if that's the case, then that kind of lets you know that realistically, like J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick are gonna be here for a while then, because it's not like we're gonna leave. No one's gonna leave hip hop just in a state where it's like almost unenjoyable. You know, we're gonna have an artist. We get little spurts of it, and the thing is, if we're gonna be real, the spurts that come in and out, it's a short, it's very short lived. Like we've seen it.
Right.
Like everyone's like the greatest artist of the year at one point, and then boom. But like with the consistency of those three artists being there, realistically, we're probably gonna get something from them for a minute now.
The only pushback I got for you, Cosmic, is that I just don't think them niggas have that much time left. And I'm not talking about from like they can't do it. I'm saying J. Cole has already told us he's retiring when the fall off comes out because he wanted to retire on that DJ Khaled album from 2016. Like J. Cole has been wanted to retire. I think Kendrick taking that 5-year break to just sit and study stuff and then coming back with Mr. Morale. I think the only thing that has him excited to rap was the fact that Drake was jumping off the porch like that. Like I know bro's about to drop an album, but I don't know how many he got left either, because he just seemed like one of them type dudes. He about to ride off into the sunset, be with his family, and you might not get an album for another 8 years type. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like Drake, he's gonna keep dropping, but it's like, and maybe this is just because my opinion has gone down. It's just like, you're going to keep dropping, you're going to keep doing numbers, you're going to keep having songs that we like. But eventually it's going to become the Wayne thing where it's like, you know, I had my favorite era of Drake, and the new Drake just kind of, if he gives me a really hot verse every year or two, I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? But the other music just isn't for me. I feel like a lot of people are getting to that point already, if they weren't already there. And so for me, it's just like, I don't know how long the real superstars got left.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's the nasty part about it, though. Like when they're no longer around, when they're no longer able to produce some of the best music we hear that year, what's left?
Well, realistically, I mean, we kind of just see how other artists evolve. Let's take a look here. If you had said this probably 10 years ago, I wouldn't have listened to you. But he keeps getting better and better. Do you think Gunna really has the potential to become a real like top of the top artist, if not already?
I think, and Cosmic, the crazy thing is, I want to preface this because the audience is gonna think I'm hating. I want to preface this by saying I was the guy Atlanta. So everything Atlanta does, we hear before everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was on Gunna 2016. Like, and back then I was saying Gunna was better than Lil Baby. And everybody thought I was crazy. So like, to see where he's at, especially because I think he just dropped his best project. It's not that I don't think he can get there musically. I just think that like star power, I don't know if he's anything more than a B plus.
You know what's funny about the baby thing you just brought up, T? I remember when you and I were talking some point last year, like I think early last year, about that year. I think it was 2021 that Baby was just dropping verse after verse, and
Yeah,
people were comparing him to like Wayne's feature era. And I remember you going, "Oh hell
yeah,
nah!" Like get the
yeah.
fuck out of here with
Nah,
that.
chill out. I love little baby. I fuck with Dominique, but no, bro. No, no.
My bad, Aaron. I didn't mean to cut you off. What's up?
No, you're good. You're good, and I 100% agree. No, Lil Baby had a good run, but a Lil Wayne one was that was a completely different animal. but but see,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying to you. So like with this album like really surprised me. And it's not that I think that like he's becoming lyrically better or he's doing anything crazy. It's just he continues to like enhance his sound like more and more. So I'm really curious to see like what these other artists do over time, you know? Like
Yep.
I think with a little bit of time they really could be something, but we don't know who that'll be yet.
that
I,
Gunna
I
album
agree
was so
with you.
good, bro. My God.
It was. I think what's missing, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. I think they do need time, but you know what I also think they need, and LeBron talked about this on JJ Redick's podcast, but he was talking about how like the young guys don't lock into basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I think that was the problem with Lil Baby. It's like, dude, the fame and the glory and the all that is great, but you cannot get caught up. Like, bro, listen, I don't think what people understand, because I guess because they weren't there, but it's like Drake dropped So Far Gone in '09, right?
Yes.
Take Care came out in 2011.
Yep.
And on the ride, he was telling us, yeah, I've been famous, I've been this, I've been that, and I promise you, as big of a star as Lil Baby was, 2020, 2021, he was not Drake in 2010, nigga. I swear to God, he was not. But
Mhm.
Drake on the ride was telling us, I've been doing this, that. But at the end of the day, do you know how many parties I missed out on? Do you know how much life I missed out on then? Because I've been locked in the studio still. Like, I haven't even like I be outside, but I don't be outside. Like I be with these hoes, but I don't be with these hoes. Like I think so many of the young dudes get so caught up in the fame lifestyle because they love it so much that it's just like, dude, you forgot that like Wayne was on the Carter 3 and he was still sleeping in the studio. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Future lost his entire hard drive and put out 56 Nights 3 months later, then dropped Dirty Sprite 2 and dropped What a Time to Be Alive that same year. He lost all of his music.
Mhm.
All of that music we heard was new music. You cannot do that being outside, bro. You got like you gotta eat, breathe, live this rap stuff if you want to be on that type of level. And
Like
I don't think they do that enough.
the Wayne Drake collab. Like this is like documented in history now. The whole, how Wayne and Drake met through Jay and them, and and like how they got together in the studio. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Drake and Wayne didn't party. I'm sure Wayne had the best bud in there, the best girls, but they were locked in for that. That entire trip was like their very first meeting was a fucking work trip. They were in the studio, bro. Ransom,
Right.
Ransom, Man of the Year, like you know what I mean. I actually don't have I think a re-record, but Ransom, that one with fucking the kid, like they were dropping all. Remember the very first edition of Forever when it was just Wayne and
Yep.
Drake. Yeah, like
Yep.
they were
Yep.
just
Yep.
recording
Yep.
shit, bro. I don't
That was
think.
when they had that what's that song on Drake's album? The uh Stand on My Money Head, but y'all mean
Oh, ignorant shit.
shit.
Yeah, ignorant
Yes,
shit.
bro.
Yeah.
They recorded all of that shit.
That was
All
their
of that
first
shit in
meeting,
that
bro. They were
same
just
studio.
working, brother.
Come on, bro.
Like you're saying, bro. I don't know if these people be doing that, bro. They might be outside too much, So I don't know, bro.
Listen, if these niggas ain't never came out, boy, when K Dot dropped to Pimp a Butterfly, I saw that nigga come out. That nigga went in there with a fade. He came back out with them dreads, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if they doing that, bro.
Yes, bro. You know what we're never gonna see that we took for granted, bro. Whenever you would see an
What?
artist and they would come out like you said with the dreads, bro, like that bummy hair, like they haven't cut their hair, bro. Like they've just been
Yeah,
slumming it up.
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
tell they've been sleeping in the booth, bro. Like,
These new niggas watch their ass too much, bro. You know what I'm saying? They gotta get in there. They gotta get. You know what I'm saying? They gotta not get no haircut. They got, you know what I'm saying? They gotta stop. They gotta stop. Goddamn, clean that. They gotta let their nails grow out. You know what I mean?
bro, you
That's called
take
passion. That's called dedication. That's something they like.
yo, look at it. Take Care made Drake grow facial hair.
What, nigga?
Is that a
Come
bar?
Nigga,
on.
Smooth Face came
That'd
out
be a
with a
bar.
full beard
And a taper fade. Like what?
and a taper fade.
What cracks me up about that is they be getting haircuts in the studio. Remember in the Genius fucking shit with Kanye
Yeah,
when Cootie's
yeah.
recording him
Yeah.
getting the haircut from the studio.
Like I ain't heard not a single one of these rappers rap a bar when Kanye said, I was locked in my room for 3 summers." Like I ain't heard not one nigga say that in the last 5 years.
Yes, bro.
That's what when people were clowning Ye about him renting out the stadium. Okay, maybe that was extra, but nonetheless, like he was sleeping on that album, and I was hyped for that shit, bro. When whether or not Donda delivers, neither here nor there, but I was hyped for that shit. So
Because you love the dedication, dude. Like you're you can record anywhere, but you're spending millions just to put yourself in an environment that you feel is gonna help you lock in. Like we don't see artists doing that, bro.
Big Sean said on when he came back out, when he popped back out in 2020, and he dropped that freestyle, and he was like, "I've been staying in the same crib since from '04 just to get my same feeling from '04." Like nigga, and he was rapping like it too, nigga. It's like
Mhm.
that shit works, nigga. When Cole dropped the off season, he told us that he went back to the damn the house that he grew up in Eve's house, and he was up in the basement. I mean, in the attic, recording again. Like, and it shows, bro. Like, environment matters, mindset matters.
remember, Aaron, when you guys, I think BG might have been knocked out off that edible he took, bro. but remember in the ride, bro. T, you remember the song "Made" Big Sean and Drake? I bumped that in the whip, bro. That
Yeah,
that song right there just shows like that dedication that I think that these two guys had. Because at the time, Big Sean, he had his shit. Drake was still on the rise back then. Like, and man, dude, like when he tells them fast girls, faster whip, big chains, master shit, bitch, I'm living every day, monthly in the studio, yeah, until you motherfuckers hear me, we done made it now, coolio. Like it's just
right.
people, they don't talk about that no more, bro. Like they don't do that shit no more, dog. Like it's
I know. Back then, and MJ, and I know y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. See, like the kids nowadays like to make fun of Big Bro, right? But it's like back then, the quote unquote big three was not as clear before 2014 Forest Hills Drive. There was real debate. Niggas was asking, "Are you sure you taking J. Cole over Big Sean?"
Mhm.
Or like,
I
"Are
remember
you
that.
are you
Yeah.
sure we taking any of them over Wale?"
I remember
Like
that,
I
yeah.
remember that.
the
I remember
like
that.
Future name belonged in there at some point. But what? Hey, listen. Like we said, we know he known for his clowning antics and shit like that. But niggas was like back then. The way niggas talk about Future now with the street shit. Back then, niggas was saying, "I don't want to hear that boring ass raps that Kendrick and J. Cole got. Turn me on some Meek Mill." Like
Mhm.
I know we like to laugh at them niggas now, but it was not that cut and dry when their careers first started,
You're
bro.
also
A
forgetting
lot of these
someone who had a
dudes
lot
was
of hood
in.
anthems, T. Remember Ace Hood? Him and Khaled, bro,
Yes,
had all them hood
Amen.
anthems,
Mhm.
bro.
Yes, nigga.
Hustle Hard
I
remix where
woke up in a
everybody
new
wanted that to
Bugatti.
jump on that joint. You know?
What? When Bugatti came out, nigga? Oh
Oh,
my
I
god.
forgot about
Oh
that
my
track.
god.
Oh
Oh my
shit!
god.
I'm about to add that to
That
my
shit was
Spotify, bro. You just
jumping.
you unlocked the
That was
memory.
jump. I'm
Holy
My
telling
God,
you,
dude.
bro.
shit!
You know what's so funny, bro? Even crazy enough to even say this, bro. Even DJ Khaled at one point. Now he's like a Snapchat meme, but back then, where he goes, "I'm on
What?
one." And any
What?
bro, any track he gave us back then, because he was the only artist, DJ to give us what your favorite artists: Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, Drake, Rick Ross, all on one single.
Cosmic. And MJ
That's
knows this better than any, like even us, right? MJ, do you remember what it felt like outside when We Taking Over came out and you had
Oh,
Yes,
T-Pain,
yes,
Wayne, Akon,
oh
I said T-Pain, I meant fucking Tip, fucking now I can't think of that nigga name. T.I. I don't
Ti.
know why I can't think of T.I. He had all of them niggas in like '09 on one track.
Yep,
mm,
That was crazy.
yep. That almost became like it was a meme before memes were created. There were so many tracks that tried to replicate that. Like Khaled was really known for bringing the Avengers together, bro. Like I don't know if y'all remember that, but y'all remember that track "Go Hard," bro, with him and Ye and T
Yes.
Pain. Like
mm-hmm.
Yes.
they replicated so many collaborations off of "We Taking Over," bro. Like it was insane, dude. The amount of like
Come
people he
on,
would
man.
get. That was a time, dude. And I think T's right. Before all this talk of like the big three, like there was a time where I think the big three slots were open, and who knows, maybe Drake probably had it on lock because of the whole hype he got from Wayne and all that shit. You know, if we put Drizzy on every hook, you know, we gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
they're hyping him up, but everyone else, those slots were open, bro, and people were fighting
Open.
for it. Ace Hood, like you said, Wale, Rick Ross was dropping hits, BMF. You know what I mean?
What?
Like there were people were going crazy during that period. And by the way,
And
I know we're sounding very old head right now, but no one in this call is over the age of 31. I just wanted to put that in there. I had to say 31
right.
because your boy just turned 30 recently. I know I'm an old motherfucker, but it's all good,
hey
bro.
man, hey man, not too much on that age.
But no, y'all are right though, bro. Like that, there was a different time back then, bro. Like it was. I still remember when Forever came out. Going back to that track, like I remember being in
Forever.
school and just walking outside, and people had like their phones open, and they had like the MP3 on their phone playing Forever, bro. Like that was a time in and of itself to have
Oh my
M,
god.
bro, Wayne and Drake and Ye on one track. Like,
What? You could not walk anywhere. All you was gonna hear was, "It may not mean nothing to y'all.
yeah,
When they stare, nothing was love for me." Nah, the kids. Okay, MJ, bro, what's the last song not from like a guy of his era that's had that kind of impact? To where you cannot fucking go outside without hearing that shit somewhere. Somebody's playing it. It's
yeah.
on every commercial. It's on it. Little League games, they playing it. Like everybody's playing that shit. I haven't seen a track reach that kind of impact. And we live in a social media age.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of it. You're actually right. I can't think of anyone. And that's why, like, I think what you said in our group chat, like, no matter what we think of Drake after this beef or how he lost, like, there's very few people who've had the impact that he's had over his career, you know? And it's just, like, even starting young, like you said, even some of his first earlier hits were still, like, you couldn't go outside without hearing people, like, talk about that track, you know? Like, I remember people who didn't even like Best I Ever Had, but they were still talking about it. Like, he had noise from the beginning, you know? Like, um, it's insane, bro. And maybe I was wrong to think that by earlier question I posed to y'all, but yeah, I don't think there really ain't anyone out right now who's touching that. At least people who haven't already been out for a minute now, like maybe what Travis, but do y'all even count Travis as like that, you know?
Oh, for sure.
I don't think Travis has it though. That's what I'm saying. Like
What?
the reason why I don't say that Travis has it is because the street niggas don't listen to Travis. And it's like, it like my uncles and them don't listen to Travis. My dad don't listen to Travis. None of them niggas could get away from Drake. Travis got it because the internet has his back. And because like my generation loves him and we be on that shit. But I don't like he's not
That's the
he
thing.
ain't that. Like
Travis's artist is not the street though. Travis's audience is bigger than that. It's like you don't hear Taylor Swift in the streets, but you hear her on the radio. Travis
but
gets
you hear
radio
the white
play. Like
people with Taylor Swift though. That's what
you,
I'm
don't-
saying.
you
Like,
think
but Travis
white
is
people listen to
still
Antidote?
say what now?
White people listen to Antidote.
That's fact. I'll say that. That's facts. But like I guess my thing is like when you're that guy, and I know it's like it's unfair comparing him to him, but it's like going back to the Drake thing. It's like because that's honestly what we're asking. Who's the next like superstar, like mega Drake? Just like they asked who's the next LeBron. That's what we want to know.
Right.
Who's the next Drake? And it's like the only reason I can't give it to Travis is because Drake had the reputation of making music for women and soft ass niggas. And that didn't stop nobody from fucking with him when he dropped some shit. I like Travis ain't on a lot of niggas' radars.
I mean, even
Like
Kendrick like
a
Drake
lot
with
of
the
niggas,
melodies, bro.
yeah, like a lot of niggas that's like, if they not tapped in, like to that shit, I just don't hit. Travis is a lot more popular with the white kids than any niggas I know.
With the Ragers,
That's all
yeah.
I'm saying.
No, that's definitely facts. That's definitely facts.
I also don't
Like Travis,
like.
he left all that I that audience that he used to have for it. That's like his days before rodeo audience.
Yes.
I feel like I just can't give it to him based off of age either. Like he's what 34 now. Like I can't.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't imagine him being on top for like another 10 or 20 years. You know what I mean? Like whoever's new is gonna whoever comes up to take the spot is gonna have to be like like rookie or something like that. Like what were y'all talking about yesterday in the call? That dude, that 7'4" guy, Wimby or something like that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Yeah,
women.
young.
it has to be like a young dude, rookie to come up, and honestly, it goes back to what we all said and agreed on. It probably would have been Juice, you know. Honestly,
Yeah.
so
It would have been. Juice was on a rocket ship out of here.
right.
Dude, Juice was so big he was able to get NBA YoungBoy at #1, bro. That man is blackballed.
Nigga, what? Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't say that to take away from none of the young kids. It's just that like I think even like bro, okay, like me and Cosmic were having this discussion like a couple of weeks ago. Even with a guy who came in, like I was telling Cosmic, the world had never heard anything like No Heart when it dropped. But eventually, even like his sound was completely unique. Like, but even a guy with a unique sound like that, eventually, like once they start doing it for commerce, once they start doing it for commercial, once people get used to it, it kind of fizzles out. Like it's like even with Savage, like Savage was on top of the world. He was up and coming. He was the guy that they wanted to be the next one, and he didn't do it. Lil Baby was the one that had like all the different flows, and he didn't do it because he dropped one dud, and it's like nope. And people may say, oh, you're being too hard on them because it's like, oh, it's just one bad album, and it's like, yeah, but y'all gotta understand when J. Cole and Kendrick and Drake were on top of their shit, they didn't have no bad albums for like 6 years, nigga. For like 6, 7 drops, there was no bad ones. Like, that's what you gotta do. You gotta put up MVP type numbers year after year after year. And if you don't, then we already know, oh, you can't keep this up. When did Wayne fall off? Because he had been rapping like that since what, 98, 99? And niggas didn't argue he fell off to what, 2010? Like
Yeah.
it's like them the type of shits we gotta see you do. Like it's no I'm not shitting on them because I love these guys too. I listen to all their music. It's just I just don't see. Nah, I don't see them captivating everybody. They, like when them other guys spoke, you had to pay attention. Everybody stopped and listened, and I don't see that happening.
I mean, and even
Bro.
Wayne too still drops like some sleepers here and there. Like my favorite, I think, modern Wayne verse. I think I was telling Ting and Aaron this the other day. My favorite modern Wayne verse is "Just in Time," bro.
Exactly. And honestly, funny enough, bro, going back to UT, when people started having the argument of Wayne falling off in 2010, he literally dropped the Carter 4 in 2011. Like, the conversation didn't even
Yeah.
go on long. He literally got not even a summer.
And Cosmic, that was so crazy because Wayne fans was arguing that, and it's like niggas will tell you, "Oh, I didn't like the Carter 4," and it's like, okay, you could not like the Carter 4, right? And you still gotta admit that Dedication 5, Sorry for the Wait 2, and Free Weezy album were some of the best music he's dropped since Carter 3, dog. Like you
Yeah,
got we have to admit this. We have to it's like, but that's the thing. Even the start of the fall off, like it's the same thing with like Bron and Curry and them. Niggas will be like, oh, they fell off. And then them niggas will fuck around and win the championship. And it's like, damn. Well, I guess we can't say that yet. And it's like, that's kind of what Wayne did, where it was like, okay, niggas not fucking with me because I'm dropping I'm Not a Human Being too, and I'm on my rock shit and this and that. And that's so crazy because 10 years later, we praising niggas like NBA Youngboy and Juice for being on that exact same type time. Like that
right.
we killed Lil Wayne for back then, and he was doing that shit in 2010. But I digress. It's like we killed them for that, and it's like no, even with that, I'm still not about to. Because Sorry for the Wait 2 didn't come out till 2015,
Yeah.
so we got at least from 99 to 2015.
No, I feel that, and some people even like to say that the Carter, like I know Marva likes to say Carter 5 is her favorite Wayne project. So it's like for some people, whether I agree with her or not, for some people, like even up to Carter 5, people are still saying he's dropping hits. So it's like
Yeah,
that's insane. I feel like Carter 4 is heavily underrated. I think Cosmic and I were talking
me
about
too.
that, and I think that's a fire project. But nonetheless, I mean, and I'm probably gonna end it with this. Since we're on this topic, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't give a fuck. Lil Wayne, the greatest rapper of all time. That's me. He's my number one. But
Actual.
Fact.
that's just me though. BG, you've been kind of quiet, bro.
No, no. I was letting y'all go. Y'all were deep in. Pause.
Oh, whoa. No nitty, bro.
Yo, bro, this is a horror podcast, bro. I don't know where you're going with this, bro.
Brother, oh my lord.
Anyways, big shout out. Thank you to T. Thank you to Aaron and BG for joining me on this edition of Slashers and Sync. Maybe the next time we'll talk about a movie or anything that's popping off. But I wanted to discuss the beef. That was a huge cultural event, and it was like really what a time to be alive. And sadly, we're probably not going to get the sequel to that album. But anyways,
I still have faith.
yeah, faith. I'm with you then. If you have faith, I'll have faith. I'll join you, bro. But again, thank you to everyone who came in. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Do y'all have anything y'all want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you.
No,
This
thank
was
you,
fun.
man.
Nah, bro, I just love talking music.
Yeah, I'm always willing to come in. This is fun,
Whoa.
man.
No nitty, bro.
PG, bro. You should have stayed quiet, though.
Oh, God.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will talk to y'all next time.